Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days. My 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. We talk about comic books. We're going to take this book, this hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It has surfed my coffee table ever since. It is a great source of conversation, the kinds that we used to have in the comic book shop that I'm looking to recreate here today, right now, with you. And so come on in, pull up a chair, grab a cup of your favorite, whatever you want to drink. I'm drinking an Ethiopian irgachefe. It's a lightly roasted bean. It has notes of raspberry, lemongrass, honey, and floral. And this was roasted just a couple of weeks ago. And it's an amazingly fresh cup of coffee. There's a button in my banner. Get yourself some. Do yourself a favor. You deserve it. Let me wet my whistle, please. I'm going to start talking, huh? We're going to use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date. We're going to look at some comic book art from an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. This is a 2004 Abrams publication, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. You will find a link to the Amazon page in the description, so please get yourself a copy. It's going to look great on your coffee table, or it makes a great gift for a geek. I know. Haha. Let's get to it. But before I do, I like to spend a minute talking about something very important to me regarding comic books. Yeah, and modernity. It's called the escapism caveat, and something that I believe in and I take seriously. Look, activists are important. Activism is important. Seriously, no doubt about it. The world's in trouble, and the living creatures on the world need help. Yes. But activism has a space and it has a place. And over the past several years, it's invaded other spaces in order to take advantage and use them solely as a platform to disseminate their message. It doesn't matter the content or the intention of the message rather. It's the tactics involved in trying to get a leverage or coercion to use these pre-existing places as their platforms for their message. When something such as superhero comics or gaming or church or sports used to be about something else. It used to be something about escapism. And it means to forget this world's problems, this world's many problems. We need to take a break from it for at least a couple of minutes. And I feel escapism is just as important as activism. It is. And I believe that. And do activists have my respect? Yes. Do I have the respect of activists? No, I don't. I've come to consider it now an intellectual and cultural colonialism. I'm a huge fan of history, so check this out. Something such as the conquistadors bringing in Christianity, or the British Empire, or the Japanese invading mainland China, or the Russians, expanding empire, or the Mongols, or the Romans, or history is fraught with this. That with you invade someone else's space. There's a pre-existing population there with a language, a culture, a religion, mores, ethics, and a group history, and group behavior, and group expectations. And in come these conquistadors, these colonials, demanding that they change everything to suit the invader, to change the religion, to change the expectation of culture. And if you don't, you're a savage, and you're othered, and you're dehumanized. And I'm seeing this through history, and this is what the activism culture has done to my fandoms, such as Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who and and the list goes on, and even now Lord of the Rings, and yeah, I've just so this is important to the people of the fandoms and the sports fans and to churchgoers too. Shouldn't church be about your soul and not about, it's great that we're concerned. It's really, we need to be taking care of the world's problems, but activism has its space and has its place. Escapism does as well, and it's just as important. Now let's get to the matter at hand. Let's open this book up. I dropped my pen. Oh boy. I picked it up with my toes. It is July the 26th, and let's check this panel of action out. What's going on here? This is our introduction to Slam Bradley. Awesome. We're going to talk about Slam Bradley. This is great. I'm happy about, this is good stuff. Who is Slam Bradley? DC Comics big hero, street level detective cop, gumshoe, tough guy, dame kissing, yes. And let's get to it. Story by Jerry Siegel, art by Joe Shuster, from Detective Comics number 13, March of 1938. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster will always be remembered for their quintessential creation, Superman, who had gone through several variations before he was finally perfected in 1934. Editors, however, shied away from the radical concept that Superman represented, so he languished on the sidelines while Siegel and Shuster got several more conventional characters into print. One of them was Slam Bradley, shown here in action just 3 months before the Man of Steel made his debut in Action Comics. Bradley, an ordinary mortal with extraordinary strength, made his debut in 1937 and held on for 11 years. So before Batman, before Superman, DC's big tough guy hero was Slam Bradley. He went from, we're going to look at the wiki too. The wiki! That's a little less Rich Evans and more William H. Macy and Fargo, huh? Got to work on that imitation. Slam Bradley, is a part of a family of adventurers. Slam Bradley was a private detective in the 1930s and 40s. Slam Bradley was a two-fisted private detective in Cleveland, in New York, and later in Gotham City, and he was an ally of Batman and notably Catwoman. I'm going to get to Catwoman in just a second. But let's look at the panel again. Let's read the narrative caption and the voice dialogue bubbles. This is more fun than going in the movies. Hey, watch it. You almost got me on that swing. Seizing the luckless sailor, Slam uses him as a human flail to beat back the others. Dashing from one opponent to the other, he smashes them right and left as though they were but bowling pins. Strike or spare or gutter balls, doesn't matter. Hit him, knock him down. Ha ha! I stink at bowling. Yeah. I'm from Boston in New England. We have something called candle pin bowling, which is unique. There's smaller pins and they're a smaller ball that you use your palm. You don't use your fingers for a grip. You literally, and it's a quicker game or something. I don't know. It's decidedly New England though. It really is. But who is Slam Bradley? Slam Bradley. Let's read from the wiki. Yes. Samuel Emerson Slam Bradley is a fictional character that's appeared in several various comic book series published by DC. He first appeared in Detective Comics number 1 in March of 1937. Remember, Detective Comics 27 is where Batman is introduced. So there are 26 issues of over 2 years of Detective Comics. That's Slam Bradley. It was the Slam Bradley show. the first appeared in the blah blah blah. I'm not going to waste my time reading this. Sorry, but he's just a quintessential gumshoe detective, tough guy of its age, noir, and the age in the movies of James Cagney, of these gangster movies, and the FBI movies. The FBI was actually a new invention then, and the feds. And but yeah, Slam Bradley. Okay, this is where it comes in. I used to read Catwoman by Ed Brubaker in the early 2000s, and Slam was a huge part of those books. He was a big character, and so was his son Samuel Jr. And okay, this only happens on the Hub. No, this was set up in books. Selena Catwoman Kyle had a romantic fling, was an on and off romance with Slam Bradley, and she became pregnant. And this is continuity. I don't know if this character still exists. You know, somebody help me out here in the comments section. Maybe I'll mention it on a show later. But in the Brubaker runs, Selena got pregnant and carried to term and had a child that she asked Bruce's help to put this child, a daughter named Helena Kyle, putting this child into adoption. But there was the whole paternity uncertainty, the whole paternity thing. So Slam Bradley is like, he's kind of like, oh, I'm going to take care of you kind of thing, and the baby, and like, it ends up being Slam Jr.'s baby. Yeah, the whole stepmom thing, you know, if you know what the Hub is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why this content is not made for children. I need to wet my whistle. Unfortunately, Samuel Jr. dies in the same issue that we find out the absolute paternity of Selena's baby. And it breaks Slam's heart. But still, he's a loyal friend, and he's heartbroken too that although his son has died, that now he's got a grandchild, and but Selena puts baby Helena up for adoption. So I wonder if Helena Kyle is still out there in continuity today, because continuity in modern DC Comics is a mess, and where they're currently doing a new Crisis in order to set things right again in the universe, in the multiverse, and it's called Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, for the 40th anniversary, almost 40th anniversary of Crisis on Infinite Earths. And that's a new comic book. What's a new comic book doing on your desk, Sully? Hey, I'm taking my friends' advices and checking out their suggestions, and that's a good thing to have this YouTube community, and I'm very, very blessed. And I'm also blessed that you've stuck around this long. If you have, then welcome to the golden age of DC Comics, and thank you very much. And you know what? I would love to earn your subscription. At 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern every day, we release another video in this series. We're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. If you want to be part of the comic book conversation, come on in, pull up a chair. You are welcome here. Leave a comment in the comment section, like and subscribe, turn on those notifications, ring that bell. I make daily content. We talk about spirituality, gratitude, cooking, bunnies eating breakfast, planets visible in the naked eye sky before the sun rises. We got daily content, and you're more than welcome to come along. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. God bless. And we will see you in the funny pages again tomorrow. Bye-bye now.